Pranau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Continuing further, let us chant the first verse. Namah Shri Shankarananda Guru Padambu Janmane Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Grasaika Karmane Yadyadrupadi Kalpyeta
Yadyadrupadi Kalpyeta
Buddhya Tattat Prakashayan
Buddhya Tattat Prakashayam
Tasya Bhavet Sakshi
Tasya Bhavet Sakshi
Bhagbuddhya Svato Bhagbuddhya Gocharaha
Svato Bhagbuddhya Gocharaha.
Not Buddhya, Buddhya. So that's because there is a short vowel followed by a conjunct consonant. So there is a doubling. So Buddhya. So it's not boo. In any case, it's short. Okay, yeah. Let's not scare ourselves and everyone by saying boo when it is not boo. Okay. Yadyadrupadi kalpyeta
Yadyadrupadi Kalpyeta
Buddhya Tattat Prakashayan
Buddhya Tattat Prakashayam
Tasya Bhavet Sakshi
Tasya Bhavet Sakshi
Svato Bhagbuddhya Gocharaha
Svato Bhagbuddhya Gocharaha.
Yeah. So in 22 we had seen Antarva Bahirva Sarvam Va Yam Desham Parikalpayet Buddhihi Tad Deshagaha. So Buddhi goes to anything that it thinks of and imagines, and then wherever Buddhi is there, wherever there is Buddhi, wherever what? There is who?
Sakshi.
Sakshi. Yes, let's not forget the point here. Sakshi. But does that mean that the Sakshi goes from place to place? No. Wherever there is Buddhi, the Sakshi as though goes means what? The Buddhi borrows the light of the Sakshi. Because the Buddhi borrows the light of the Sakshi, we say Sakshi goes. Sakshi doesn't go anywhere. And then when he said Sakshi doesn't go anywhere is a place. That, the Purva Pakshi, jumped on him and said, what do you mean it doesn't go anywhere? Anywhere means, the word anywhere has where in it, correct? Yeah. So that means what? Where means it's a spatial thing. And you just said it's, all pervasive. All pervasive means it is spatial. Because you're saying it is everywhere. So the terms everywhere and anywhere cannot be applicable to Sakshi from what? From its own standpoint. Because there is nowhere to go. Yeah, wherever it looks, it's itself. So where will it go? And it has apani padam, it has no hands and legs. How will it go? It has no desire. Why will it go? Correct? So in other words, all the things going and coming, it is illumining while being established in its own glory. You cannot say while being in one place, because that's where it is viparita drishtanta between Sakshi and a lamp. Lamp is in one place. That's why if you go back, Swasthana samsthito deepaha. He says, but sthirasthai tada sakshi, tatha sakshi. He doesn't say swasthana samsthita sthai. It's not that the sthai is its own place, because that is again a location. He says sthirasthai, he says, meaning that which is sthira and sthai, unmoving. So that is the connection here. And then now he concludes this, but he thinks he is concluding, alas he is hijacked later, but he thinks he is concluding by saying yadyad rupadi kalpyeta whatever the buddhi, whatever is imagined by the buddhi, whatever is thought of by the buddhi, whatever is conceptualized by the intellect, tat prakashayan, illuminating everything that is imagined or thought by the buddhi, tasya bhavet sakshi. So it gains the epithet sakshi in relation to that which it helps objectify. Got it? So you sit here and think of Mozambique, and why will anyone think of Mozambique? Just like that. Think of Mozambique. And then what will happen? What happens? First of all, buddhi goes to Mozambique. Sitting here, you have already gone to Mozambique. Not only has the buddhi gone to Mozambique, Sakshi is illumining Mozambique, correct? Sakshi is illumining the buddhi, in other words, illumining Mozambique. And with reference to Mozambique, this consciousness gains the epithet of Sakshi. So the epithet, the name Sakshi is an incidental attribute, so to speak, superimposed upon this consciousness with regard to the manifest world. Got it? You want me to repeat that?
No, it's not.
Okay. So, with regard to the manifest world, because we have to deal with the so-called duality, small, thing. Yeah, go on. One had something to say, that's what. We don't understand its language. So, with regard to the duality, and with regard to the manifest Jagat, we account for various things, correct? So many things are there, not only account, we count. So many countries, so many people, 1.2 billion people in India. This is an accounting. Counting. Now, so many things happening here in this part of the world, and so many animals. This is just people means 7 billion. Then what to talk of 4-footed, and then what? Andajaha, egg born, Shvetajaha, moisture born, and then moisture born means when you put rice and everything in a container and don't look at it for 1 year. Yeah, it's an airtight container, but somehow there is the moisture there. They are called Shvetajaha. So Andajaha, egg born, and Shvetajaha, moisture born, and then Jarayujaha, Jarayu, mammals, and then something else. What have we left out? Andajaha, Udbhijaha, plants. Yeah. Udbhijaha means that which break open the earth and come out. So there are 4 categories of things that are there in the manifest world in terms of jivas. All the jivas come under these 4 categories. Other than these 4 categories, there are no jivas. Finished. These are the only 4 categories depending upon the mode of birth. You're either born newborn, or you're born into an egg and then you hatch out of the egg, or you're born in a rice container. How, don't ask. Or you are born, breaking open the earth, right? So these are the 4 kinds of jivas based on what? Based on the mode of coming into being. Based on the yoni, based on the birth canal and the mode of coming into being. So now, if somebody is a zoologist and talking about all these things, there was one person that Pujya Swamiji knew, and he studied bats night and day. He was a professor in the university. Expertise was on bats. Interestingly, his name was Bhatnagar, but he was working in a university in this country. So what did, Bhatnagar, nobody will say. What did they say? Bhatnagar. So he didn't have much else to talk about other than bats. big bats, the small bats, baby bats, right side up bats. Why? Because most of them are upside down. So, unusual bats, this kind of bats, all kinds of things, and how they, move in space, and that sonar, waves, all these things. He was an expert. So now, with regard to his brain and his buddhi on bats, the Sakshi is illumining the buddhi, correct? And the Sakshi is illumining his buddhi batting the bats. Yeah, that's what it is. The Sakshi is illumining first. You can't even say first. It's all ekayatnena, we saw earlier, effortlessly. Not, one by, not kramena. Kramena is opposite of ekayatnena. Kramena means, consequentially, one after another. Krama, in an order. Ekayatnena means simultaneously, effortlessly. So it's not like first the buddhi goes, yes, I think I have come to life. Oh, let us see what to see. Where is the bat? Oh, there is the bat. What kind is it? Genus Batus. And then, it's not like that. The Sakshi is, for the Sakshi, there is really nothing other than itself, really speaking. And then everything else, that is just Namarupa. Starting with Buddhi, don't forget that Buddhi is also a Namarupa. From the standpoint of consciousness. Buddhi is not another entity, waiting to be illumined. I paid for you, when are you coming? It's not like, electric bill it is paying Buddhi every month to get Sakshi to come and, give it some incandescence. No, halogen, No. It's just Buddhi is not an entity on a par with Sakshi. In fact, it belongs to the same realm of reality as that which is illumined, the objects. No, but Buddhi belongs to the subject, so to speak. Yeah. That's because the Buddhi is dear to everyone. Without Buddhi, it seems, one takes it for granted. Without Buddhi, there is nothing. So therefore, Buddhi is taken to be real, and then Sakshi is seen as someone, on a par with Buddhi. No. Buddhi is equal to the object, that is on the same level. No, but the object is mithya. Exactly. But the object depends on my Buddhi. Exactly. But what does your Buddhi depend on? Sakshi. That's what we are also saying. So your Buddhi is not any better than the objects that it illumines. Don't think that Buddhi is equal to subject and object is there, and then Sakshi is some, visiting electrician, powering up the Buddhi once in a while. No, that's not how it works. Buddhi is an object. How do you know? I can say my Buddhi is not working today. But that seems funny. Exactly. That shows that Buddhi is just an object. You can say, I'm having brain fog. My mind is restless. Or sometimes people like to say, I am restless. I am forgetful. I can't think. I am dejected. This is all attributes superimposed on the Buddhi, which is just an inert thing really. And so, it is when the Sakshi comes, not that it's never it's never absent, but when the Sakshi comes, into the picture, what we have is the Buddhi and Tadvrittayaha being illumined. Buddhi and its thoughts are illumined simultaneously. And of course, like I said, Buddhi takes the credit and runs. It's like sometimes people say, this was such a good dish, can you give me the recipe? And so the person gives the recipe and then they make it their own. Yeah, the recipes are something that you cannot never copyright, right? Yeah, so they make it their own. That's why in India, if you ask a very accomplished cook, how do you make this? They will always leave one item out and then give the recipe. Sometimes it's the main item, So, like that, it's not that the Sakshi is leaving anything out and the Sakshi is the only thing in this picture. Then why are we even counting the buddhi? Because you are believing in it. Because it is the source of ignorance and it is needed for the knowledge. Although it's not an agent of the knowledge. Buddhi here, mind, the whole thing. Ahankara, everything. So, it is needed for the knowledge. It's a tool for the knowledge, but it is not the agent of the knowledge. And so it is blessed by Sakshi. We cannot be vague about this. Blessed by Sakshi means illumined by Sakshi, objectified by the Sakshi. So Buddhi and Tadvrittayaha and the thoughts in it are illumined. In fact, because the Sakshi illumines the thoughts, Buddhi and the Buddhi is aware that there are thoughts. That's how one is aware that there are thoughts, because they are illumined by the Sakshi. And so therefore, so yadyad rupadi kalpayeta, whatever is imagined by the buddhi, buddhya, third case, by the buddhi, whatever is kalpana has been done, and then what? Tad, prakashayan, present continuous, illumining that. This is the Indian way of saying it, What is thought of by the buddhi, that, meaning whatever is thought of by the buddhi, that is illumined by this witness. But don't think that the consciousness is just witness. That is not its ultimate, definition. So what is this witness? That also is an attribute, so-called attribute superimposed on consciousness that is entirely free from witnessing. Wait a minute, just now I had just barely got a grasp of the Sakshi. Sakshi witness, Sakshi witness, Sakshi witness, witnessing buddhi, witnessing this, witnessing objects. And now you're saying consciousness is not Sakshi. That's right. But why are you doing this to me? Because we want you to gain the knowledge. But this is not how the knowledge is gained. This is how confusion is gained. Confusion doesn't have to be gained. It was your starting capital. Yeah. Nobody goes and says, oh Lord, please give me some confusion. What are you doing today? I'm trying very hard to get some confusion. No. That's already there. In fact, what is the prowess of the Jiva? Confusion. What is the prowess of Bhagavan? Knowledge. We know this already. So don't accuse me of making you confused. That was already there. Right? So then, but I'm confused. Yeah, that I know. That's what Arjuna's problem was also there. That one is confused is not something to worry about. That is taken for granted. That's why one needs the knowledge. And so the knowledge is so powerful and it's such that the moment and the way of teaching is so complete that the moment you catch hold of something, you catch hold of the mic thinking that is knowledge. No, that's just amplifying that, teaching. Then you catch hold of the teacher and shake the teacher out because the teacher is the receptacle of knowledge. I want everything that the teacher has now. Maybe if I turn the teacher upside down and shake the teacher out, the Upanishads will fall out of the mouth and the ears. No. Why? Because the teacher is just like the microphone, an amplifier of the knowledge. Correct? Oh, then I'll hold all the books. Upanishad means books. All the books I will hold, take them home and you can't come near it. All these books, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda Upanishads, Sama Veda Upanishads and what else? Atharva Veda Upanishads, 108 Upanishads, 10 major Upanishads, 108 minor Upanishads. Why they give these titles, I don't know. But anyhow, all these are mine, But that's not the knowledge. What? The books are not the knowledge. No. Ayayo. You are contradicting yourself. No contradiction here. In fact, Shaunaka says in the Mundaka Upanishad that we have studied this part. What does, he says, Dve vidye veditavye. Two kinds of knowledges must be known. Let us call one apara and the other one para. Apara means what? That which is not ultimate, non-absolute knowledge. Knowledge of objects is apara, and then paravidya is the knowledge of the subject. And then of course the student, it begs the question, what is Aparavidya and what is Paravidya? And when he says, what is Aparavidya, the student asks, the teacher Angiras starts with Rig Veda. Student has a heart attack. What? Rig Veda is Aparavidya? I thought it is Pramana. I thought it's a means of knowledge, and I thought it's going to get rid of my confusion, aka ignorance. And then what are you saying? This is not whatever, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, another bypass surgery needed. Sama Veda. What? But what about Chandogya Upanishad? That's in the Sama Veda. Sama Veda, Atharva Veda, but that's the Mundaka Upanishad. Quadruple bypass surgery needed now. The heart has sunk and, got blocked after hearing this. Okay, what is Paravidya? Yaya aksharam adhigamyate sa para. Yeah, she means knowledge here, feminine. She is Paravidya. She is that ultimate absolute knowledge. By which thought, exactly, yaya vritya, yaya akhandakara buddhi vritya, that, that thought, that mental frame of vritti, through which the akshara, the indeclinable, that which never declines, never changes, is understood as the self-evident you. You know you are self-evident, but you don't know your nature. So in the live teaching, what happens is that the vritti, the thought, arises in the mind in response to the teaching. You see? So the thought arises, oh, ha, oh, that's me. Oh, I'm not Sakshi either. Oh, what a notion. Thank God it's just a notion. I thought it was an ocean that is so difficult to cross, but it's just a notion. So this is just a thought. Now, the question arises, how can a thought, we are not even talking of, a concert, at least that lasts for 2 hours, but we're talking, which is not like Tattvamasi concert, where everybody is playing together. No, it's just one thought. At least the concert is for 2 hours. You can listen and you can, be immersed in that. Here it's just one thought, yes. So then what kind of thought it is? Brahman thought. Oh, but Brahman, is it a thought? It's not a thought. Or it's not what you thought, It's not what you thought. So when I understand that Brahman is not, when I understand through a thought that Brahman is not what I thought, that thought, commits suicide, because every thought is finite. It doesn't even last for, by the time you ask, what were you thinking? The person has forgotten. That's why it's called Kshanika Vritti. It's a tiny little thing in the tiny little mind of this tiny little fellow who thinks a lot of himself. This is what it is. So the thought is second, nanosecond, picosecond. Yeah, picosecond is smaller than nanosecond. So it's a picosecond, meaning 1/10 or 1/100th of a nanosecond. Nanosecond is the same of 1 second. And so therefore, in this split second, the thought has come and it has gone. Gone means it destroys itself. It is destroyed. It's because it is kshanika. But that thought has left something behind. What has it left? You. You mean I was not there? The thought carried me on its shoulders and deposited me? No, you were already there. What the thought removed was that confusion regarding the I. And so the I is grasped because the confusion has been removed by akhandakara vritti, tadakara vritti. Tad means Brahman. So the brahmakara vrittya, this confusion is removed. How? Because you see, it's very beautiful to see this. Very easy also. It's not difficult. It's like there is a wall in front of the heart. Imagine, because that's this person all, tight and closed off. There is a wall made of what? Concrete. concrete ragas, concrete dveshas, cemented by vasanas and cemented by habitual orientations. So this is a big wall, right? And then what? What is behind the wall? Bhagavan. That is what it is. Ishvara is behind the wall, Sakshi, which is now not going to be called Sakshi for much longer. That was just to get the brain cells going, because one has to catch hold of something, you know. It is called, I'll get back to the wall imagery, but this is also important. It is called Shakha Chandra Nyaya. You know, a baby doesn't know what the moon is. So the mother wants to show the moon, you know, small 2-year-old or something. So the mother carries the baby and says, let's go see the moon. And then it says, where? I can't see anything. And so the mother says, do you see that tree? Oh, is that the moon? No, that's just a tree. Oh, yeah, I see the tree. Do you see the left branch of the tree? Oh, is that the moon? No, that's just the left branch. Do you see it? Yes. Do you see the right branch of the tree? Oh, is that the moon? No, that's just the right branch. Do you see that? Yes. Now look in between. That's the moon, you know. So like this, it slowly takes the Shruti, the Upanishad also follows the same thing that the Panchadashi follows. It slowly takes you step by step to understanding this, the truth. So first it gives a relational term for that consciousness which is free of all names and forms, called Sakshi, because you can catch hold of it immediately, just like the baby caught hold of the branch. Now first it says Aham Vritti and Idam Vritti, correct? And so then Aham Vritti and Idam Vritti are the left branch. Yes, I got it, I see it. Sakshi is the right branch because it is in relation to this Aham and Idam Vrittis, it illuminates both. And that Sakshi is resolved into the Vastu once I have the vision. Okay? So that's how the teaching operates. Back to the wall here. How does the thought, you know, so the wall is basically hiding Bhagavan from me. Poor Bhagavan is interred in this wall. Yeah, of my own raga, dveshas, fears and tears. And then what? I sit in the class and then the words of the Upanishad handled by the teacher, you know, in the form of a vritti, let's say like a flower, you know, because the teacher is worshipping the Bhagavan in you, the teacher can see the Bhagavan in you. Why? Because the teacher's teacher saw the Bhagavan in her or him. That's how. Shrotriya. So you don't see the Bhagavan in you many times, but the teacher sees the Bhagavan in me and the teacher sends a vritti in the form of the knowledge. It's almost like a flower, you know. But actually it has the power, the flower to worship the Bhagavan in you. But that flower has the power of a cannonball that shatters the wall. Yeah, the cannonball shatters the wall of notions, fears, dogmas, catmas, whatever one has. Whatever one has, you know. And then once that is dismissed, you don't need a GPS. Where is Bhagavan? It's right there. That's actually resolved into Bhagavan, consciousness which is Bhagavan. And so therefore that is how it's very effortless and easy because it has been being done for generations and generations. That is the power of the parampara. Para plus apara, parampara. Yeah. Or para and avara, paravara, the same thing. And that's why it's called sampradaya. Samyak prakarshena diyate iti sampradaya, that which is given properly and reverentially and according to the established norms of teaching, the pedagogical norms, and that which brings result when given in this way. So here the rest of the verses till we reach the end is going to talk about the operation of this knowledge, you know, in relation to the buddhi. Because the buddhi is now, you know, blinking. What happened? I thought I was the star, and then what? Now I'm not starring in this at all. Yeah, I took all the credit. Remember, when the credits rolled, it was buddhi ahankara, they just took everything. Sakshi was relegated to the background. That's okay if one is not a Vedantin, but it's a choiceless choice whether to study Vedanta or not. When you are studying Vedanta, you better know where the credits belong. So he says, yad yad rupadi kalpyeta buddhya tat tat prakashayan. That, illumining that, what happens then? Illumining that, something happens. What happens? Tasya tasya bhavet sakshi. So tasya tasya means in relation to that. What is that? Whatever it illumines. The sakshi, takes on that particular form. Go back to the cannonball example. The cannonball has destroyed itself, correct? Yeah. But what has it done? It has opened the doors. Yeah. So you can use a flower metaphor. That's the gentlest one. You can use a cannonball metaphor, or for repeated learnings, the battering ram metaphor. Like they take a long stick with a ram's head, not a real one, but a wooden one, and they go like this. So the whole parampara of teachers, line of gurus, the whole line of gurus are just battering this wall. The whole parampara exists for me. So fantastic, I say. I love that. The whole parampara is at my service. Because bar, lagatar, again and again, repeatedly, what is it doing? It's dismissing my, ignorance. And I'm holding on, and, I'm just propping up this wall. But it gives way. It gives way. Why? Because that's the beauty of the knowledge. And why else it gives way? Because what it is trying to batter, when it batters away at all that resistance, what it is trying to show is not an object, it's a subject. And this is very important to know, because when you know this, the other verses become very, very clear. Because you see, now we are going to get a little technical again. So it's not like knowing a flower, slightly different. Knowing a flower is, it's a two-part operation. So first when I say flower, there is a flower vritti in the mind that has come, correct? Yeah, because everybody knows flower. So you think of the flower, you don't know what kind of flower, you don't know it is maroon tipped with yellow and it's got a greenish yellow center and it's got lovely petals and wonderful color, you don't know it's this flower. So when I hold up this flower, what happens? You see the flower and immediately the flower thought comes. And through the eyes, the buddhi goes. The eyes are a little, car for the buddhi. It goes nicely driving. The eyes are the vehicle through which the mind/buddhi goes and, envelops the flower and brings information back. Or rather, the buddhi sends the eyes, which are its servants, and say there is some idam here, there is a idam vritti, go see what that idam wants and what does it look like. And is the idam the same as the flower that is already in the mind? So the idam vritti goes and then brings back flower information, and that is called flavarakara vritti. Pushpakara vritti. Correct? Yeah, because it is exactly in that. So this is what is called vritti vyapti, technical term. Vritti vyapti means the act of the buddhi or the mind going through the eyes, ears, whichever pramanas, and going and capturing the flower as it were. In other, capturing means what? It's not taking a selfie with the flower. It's objectifying the flower and bringing back information to the mind. And then, so that is the first part A of the operation of knowing everything that is discrete, of knowing objects. So then, when that information is brought back, the second part is matching the information with what was already there. There was a flavarakara vritti there already, correct? There was a flower thought there. When I say flower, even before I show the flower, flower thought has come. And that flower thought, which is already there, is matched up with this flower, correct? And then the person says, I know this flower. And so, then vritti vyapti, first one, going out through the eyes, ears, etc., capturing the sight or the sound, objectifying that, bringing back the information to the mind. And then the second part of the operation of knowing objects is the mind sifts through what already it had the information about it, and then it matches it up so that whatever you see is what you think. Supposing you thought of purple flower, then the mind makes the purple flower go away and say it is flower all right, but it is this one. So then you say, aham pushpam janami, I know this flower. Etat, I know this flower. And so that is what is called phala vyapti. Phala vyapti, part 2 of the operation. Part 1 is vritti vyapti. Phala vyapti, but I am seeing flower, not phala. No, the phala of the seeing the flower is called phala vyapti. Don't bring in phala, karma phala, that is just a technical term. So what are the two terms? Vritti vyapti, going and objectifying a thought, the object of the thought, and then phala vyapti, bringing back that information and matching it up with what one has seen. Okay? So with all objects, it's a two-part operation. But when you understand I am Brahman, I am this consciousness, I am Sakshi, whatever it is, it's not a two-part operation. Only in the knowledge of the subject, it is a one part and one part only operation. In fact, it's not even, you can't call it one part. It's only a single operation. Yes, the words Guru Mukhat, through the words of the teacher, the vritti goes into what? Into the ears of the student. And then of course a Brahmakara vritti, Brahman is being talked, and the information that this is Brahman, etc., etc., and that goes, and that information, you are Nitya Buddha Shuddha Chaitanya, Nitya Buddha Shuddha Mukta Atma, you are free, you are not subject to sadness, you are, free of death, you are free of sorrow, you are free of fear, and that already resonates, correct? So this is accepted. So first thing is there, Vishayakara vritti is there, and Vishayakara vritti means like the flower thought or whatever. So Brahman consciousness, you don't have an object. So what do you think of? Yourself. You can't think of an object. So there is no object. So phala vyapti is not needed. Only vritti vyapti is needed. And because the phala is you and you happen to be self-shining. So when I say Brahman, you can't think of an object. So immediately it goes back to you and you don't have to think of yourself, you already are. So everything that is not Brahman falls away. That is how the vritti operates. So here the Sakshi must not be thought of as just a witness, because then you have some kind of a dissociation at the end. I'm witnessing, and then and one time somebody told me, now who is the one that's witnessing the witness? That's the thing. If there is somebody witnessing the witness, then that's not the witness, correct? That's exactly the point here. So therefore, tat prakashayan tasya bhavet sakshi. So the word sakshi is only in relation to those things. That's it. To those things that it illumines. But then, if there is nothing to illumine, how do I understand it? You don't understand it as an object. Swataha, from its own standpoint, vak buddhi agocharaha. It is agocharaha, not an object. For what? Vak means what? Speech. Buddhi means what? I don't know. If I had one, I would tell you. Yeah. So, vak and buddhi agocharaha. Gocharaha means objectifiable. Agocharaha means not objectifiable by the vak, not objectifiable by what? Buddhi. Swataha, from its own standpoint. yato vacho nivartante apraapya manasa saha. This is what, Taittiriya Upanishad, the buddhi and the mind, the vak and the mind, buddhi and vak, both of them go with a flashlight. They want to light up with a lantern, they want to light up the Sakshi. It's like going with a flashlight trying to light up the sun. It's a useless endeavor. They thought they will capture it just like they captured the flower. And so the mind said, I go first, I capture it, and then I give you words and you talk about it, and then we both will make some money. And the speech said, yes, I'm with you. I'm going to be your mouthpiece. Whatever you think, I will, amplify. And then they went in search of Brahman. And then, the mind was an artist. It took a nice watercolor set and a paper. It thought it will draw a lifelike sketch of Brahman and then become famous and rich, because nobody has seen Brahman. It will capture Brahman, and then the Vak will say, oh, it wasn't too difficult at all. In the lovely, meditation, Brahman gave its own picture, and I quickly, in the meditation, drew it. So this is energy portrait. People talk like this. Energized portrait of consciousness. There are many websites selling this, just a painting. Somebody made, okay, fine, energized chakra portraits. What is it energized by? By me, the painter. Because in the meditation, I meditate on you. You just send me information about yourself, of course with lots of money. And then I meditate on you. And in my meditation I see certain things. And then that is consciousness. They may be seeing, I don't deny. It doesn't take much to see things, fine. And maybe that has some information for the person also. That also I don't mind. But you can't call it consciousness. That is where I object. Because this is not an object. Whatever you see, you can only see the body, correct? Or if you read somebody's mind, you can see the subtle, you can see the subtle things. You can maybe have some information about them. Maybe you are psychic. All that is fine. But, to trick people to say that this is a portrait of consciousness, and this consciousness as it is in your body, I'm drawing consciousness, that is very difficult to, that is impossible to do. And so here, the mind thought I will also be like a psychic, and went with a sketch pen and a nice sheet of paper, along with another sidekick, the vak, the speech. So the psychic and the sidekick went with all their implements. It's like these people who are doing Kirlian photography. There is something called Kirlian, whatever it is. So yeah. Kirlian photography. Yeah. And they go like this. What is that? Your aura is all disturbed. I'm trying to part the aura, and it's not hair, okay? Yeah. And they will take this photo in some kind of a low lighting, and they'll show you certain, the figure. It will be like one of the TSA scanners you go through every day at the airport. You don't see the person, you just see a akara. So here also you see an akara, and then some yellows and blues and greens and violets everywhere. And then these auric people, they are able to read the aura. And I don't doubt that also. Fine, they may be gifted and they may be reading whatever, some subtle body they are reading, that's all. But this is not consciousness. And they may say that, oh, you're taking too many vitamins, stop. Or you're not exercising enough. You don't need Kirlian photography to see that. But anyhow, so, or you are depressed, or you need some, you need some whatever, you need to smile, you need ha-ha therapy. There is such a thing called ha-ha therapy, did you know that? Yeah. you get to, with a group of people. I went to Detroit last year, and it was in Milwaukee, yes. So I went to Milwaukee last year, and then there, I was going for my lecture. And then there was a group of people standing outside the building where I'm supposed to talk. And they're all laughing, 4 or 5 of them. And, and he said to me, the leader of these laughing, the ha-ha therapist, said to me, won't you join us? And I said, doing what? No, we just laugh. And then and then he told his people, we point to people and laugh, and they and they all pointed at me and laughed. I didn't take offense. I said, okay, that's fine, have fun, because I have a lecture to go to, and the people who are with me were getting a little worried because the people are waiting inside, and here I have been ambushed by the ha-ha therapist. And so then, long story to make it short, what happened was that, they said, we are not pointing at you, we are pointing with you. Come on, you point also to us. I said, but I don't feel like pointing. I don't feel like pointing at anybody or anything. So then they kept on laughing, and they said, this is how we, we overcome depression. This is how they told me everything. This is how we overcome, what else did they say? Cholesterol, high blood pressure, and any other kinds of emotional disturbances and all kinds of things, pre-diabetes, all these things, just by, and I don't, doubt that. Maybe the laughing has some kind of a thing. So but all these are objectifiable. All these are objectifiable, whether you're talking of Kirlian photography, the Sukshma Sharira readings, psychics and sidekicks, this is not consciousness. Na esha paramarthata. That is what it is. This is not consciousness. And so consciousness is that which cannot be objectified by the mind, by the thing, by the words. And it's the only thing in the whole universe that cannot be objectified. Then how am I going to know it? If it cannot be objectified, how am I going to know it? Borrow some buddhi, that's all. Beg or borrow some buddhi, because it's you. It need not be objectified. It cannot be objectified, that is correct. But it need not be objectified, because a thing comes to be known, as we have seen before, in two ways. Either it needs a means of knowledge to illuminate, or it needs to advertise itself. If it advertises itself, then it is called Swatas Siddha, self-revealing. Or otherwise, it is called Pramana Siddha, revealed by a means of knowledge. So something that you can know directly, why do you need a means of knowledge? It's like eating food that way rather than straight away. And it's like that person, like sometimes people don't want to be convinced, because the orientation so much is towards knowing it as an object, that the wall, the cement that is lining all the bricks in this wall is that of old beliefs that are no longer valid, personal pet beliefs. And this is what it is. You go to a Nayayika, they'll tell you, I'll objectify Bhagavan for you just now. Therefore Bhagavan, they will logically try to derive Bhagavan. And you go to a theologian, and the theologian will say, oh, this is God, and God is good. And how do you know? How do you know God is good? If God is good, then why all these bad things are happening? Starting with these elections. And so, if God is good, then why is this happening? No answer they have. Theology means logic is with Theo, God. That's all. Yeah, there is no logic here. Logic is safe with Theo. That's all it means. So, this is not how to understand. What we are trying to understand is the nature of I, which illumines everything, and even the word illumines is not a word, it is its own nature to light up everything, including doubt, ignorance, fear, tear, everything. It lights up everything. When it lights up something, in relation to that thing, it is called Sakshi. By itself, it is the only thing in the universe that cannot be lighted up. Full stop. Full stop? No. Question mark. Why question mark? Let us see the next verse. We will understand why question mark. This is a complaint by the student who's been sitting here for so long. Katham tadrigmaya grahyam grahyah. Katham tadrigmaya grahyah. Katham tadrigmaya grahyah. I'll keep saying it till you get it properly, okay? Yeah. Katham tad, listen. Katham tadrigmaya grahyah. Yeah, that visarga is important. It is elided because there is an E there. But if we are breaking it up, we have to pronounce it. Katham tadrigmaya grahyah. Iti chenmaiva grihyatam. Sarvagrahopasamshantau. Swayameva vashishyate. Katham tadrigmaya grahyah. Iti chenmaiva grihyatam. Sarvagrahopasamshantau. Swayameva vashishyate. Yeah, so then the student asks, Katham tadrig, in that manner, which manner? Without objectifying, without using the buddhi, without using the mind, without trying to use the words, without having categories. How to understand this? Grasp, grahya, to grasp. How to catch hold of this? First grah is, the grasping, objectifying. First grahya, grah means objectify. And then what? Iti chet, if this is the case, then what does the teacher say? Ma eva grihyatam. Don't grasp it. Don't catch a hold of it. In other words, don't, leave your paws alone. Paws and claws are not going to help you understand Brahman. You can't take it home in a pot and water it every day and hope it will grow. That is not what it is. So, katham tadrigmaya grahyah. How is this to be gained by me? How is this to be objectified by me? May you not gain it as an object at all, says the teacher. Because if this is how you are going to understand, better you don't understand. It's a nice irony here. So the teacher says, if this is how you are proceeding, this is the trajectory of your learning, is that you are trying to objectify that which doesn't need to be objectified. That's why we keep asking the question, what? Are you there? Very simple question to prove swatas siddhatvam, which is ironically not needing any proof. So to illustrate rather that which is what? Swatas siddha. Swatas siddha means it is evident by itself, self-revealing, self-evident, self-illuminating, self-luminous, all that. So how do you illustrate that? You just ask a question, are you there? And whoever says no, you say, please come and see me after class. Okay? Yeah. So, are you there? Yeah. And of course, I'm here. So just that statement, I'm here, does it need any proof? Do you have to watch yourself in the mirror to say you are here? Do you have to call the significant other to ask if you are here? Do you have to, take a photograph to show that you are here? No, it needs no proof at all. You are the proof. Yeah, the proof is in Brahman, which is you, which cannot keep quiet. Are you here? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. It is evident, it is evident, it is evident, it is communicable, it is evident. And so when I say yes, I say I exist, correct? Sat, I exist. Yes. And the yes also says I know I exist. Correct? So I exist, I am, I know I am. And when do you exist? Now. 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 And that now is Ananda, Ananta. So I know I am now is the full unfolding of the word exist. Are you here? That's the full unfolding of the answer. I am. I'm here. I'm here means I know I exist right now. Right now. Right now. And that right now is timeless. So therefore it is Ananda. So therefore it doesn't need a proof. It is already there. No, but I can use the words to describe it. So what did you mean by saying the words are of no use? The words are of no use to objectify, not to describe. And they don't describe, they indicate. That's why we have the difference between, Lakshya, Lakshyartha, and Visheshana. These are not Visheshana. Sat Chit Ananda, Satyam Jnanam Anantam, they are not attributes or adjectives. That is why we say the words come back along with the mind. No, but when you say I am here, now, are they not words? Yes, they are words. Then if they are words, am I not objectifying me? No, you are not. How come I am not objectifying me? Because the words are indicatory words. They indicate what it is. They don't really. That's why I said the words collapse at the feet of which, having done their job, they just indicate because it's already lit up. You don't have to shine a lantern to the sun. In fact, it shines up the lantern also. So therefore, these are just indicatory words. Lakshyartha, not Vachyartha. Vachyartha means directly understood by the words. Lakshya means indirectly understood by the words. So this is what is very important in knowing the difference. And here is where we make the difference, because Vachyartha, the direct words, those cannot objectify Brahman at all. Because words are finite. What kind of words do you have? Jati. Jati means what? Nouns. All kinds of nouns. Kriya, actions, verbs. Guna, adjectives. And Sambandha, connections, relationships. Those are all that the words can highlight. Which jati is Brahman? What is its blood group? Jati means any kind of species. Must be B, because B for Brahman. No, it's A. A for Atma. Okay, let's make it AB. Atma Brahman. No, it's O for Om. No blood group. Why? No blood. No parts. No blood, no veins, no arteries, no carriers of blood, no need to circulate and clean it because it's already Shuddha, no parts, impartite. So it belongs to no group. It's not dog, cat, nothing. And since it doesn't belong to a group, you cannot say that it is what? It is a tall Brahman, short Brahman. And so many varieties of dogs we have, And sometimes they start looking like their owners also. Or maybe the owners start to look like them. You have to see. I'm going to take a few more minutes. So, and there is a competition. Where is that? Is that here? The competition where the dog and the master and the dog look alike and there is a competition. Huh?
In the US.
Yeah, in America, there is a competition. You come just dressed exactly like your dog, and then both of you go around in the ring, and the ones that look exactly alike get a prize. Yeah. So, this is, tall, short, big dog, small dog, all these are attributes because they belong to a certain class and they want to distinguish from others in that particular class. So Brahman, tall Brahman, why will I say tall Brahman if there are no short Brahman? I don't have to distinguish. There is nothing to distinguish. Fat Brahman, thin Brahman, blood group Brahman, this group Brahman, that group Brahman, squash Brahman, tennis Brahman, Wimbledon Brahman, you don't have to do all that. You don't have to do all that because there's only one. In fact, it's only you. So adjectives are cancelled, nouns are cancelled. What about actions? Running Brahman, sitting Brahman, standing Brahman. No, Sakshi Brahman, it is witnessing. To witness is a verb. No, it's just a relational definition, that also is gone. So no action, it neither sits nor stands nor runs, certainly it doesn't cry. So therefore, it is free of all, Visheshanas. Visheshanas means gunas, attributes. It's nirguna. No, but you say sagunam brahma. Yeah, that we have explained. Yeah, you are also sagunam brahma. Just the gunas are not worth mentioning, that's all. That's what it is. Sagunam Brahma is a name for Bhagavan, and Bhagavan has as though attributes, just like the Jiva has as though attributes. That's all it is. Attributes are mithya. So therefore, essentially it is without form. Essentially nirguna, but also, also takes on forms without undergoing any change. That's what we say. So all the gunas are gone, kriya is gone, sambandha, whose mother is Brahman, or who is Brahman's father, even better. Where are the antecedents? Where are the precedents? Brahmaji had a son, called Atharva, to whom he taught Mundakopanishad, but not Brahman. Nothing. It didn't give birth to anything, neither did it come from anything. It's neither cause nor effect, and it sustains both without being either. It's a causeless cause when we look at the causality, and it's an effectless effect when we look at it from the standpoint of the effect. It's neither effect nor cause, it upholds both. So now what happened to all our words? Yato vacho nivartante. Yeah. So the words and the mind, they came back with an empty piece of paper, no drawing at all, just a lot of scribbling, and the mind, trying to hide its shame, just did a few doodles. That's all. Oodles of doodles. That's all it did. It was unable to do anything. Yato vacho nivartante. So what do we need to understand this? How do we understand this? Do we need some new words? As though, yeah, that's why we use Satyam Jnanam Anantam. And that we will see more next time, which is Thursday. Thursday we will conclude this. Okay? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Whole thing is trying to grasp it when it doesn't need to be grasped. So if there are any questions, you can tell me. Yeah, laughing yoga. It's also called ha-ha therapy.
So the Palavriti.
Sorry? Yeah.
Palavriti doesn't just comes over and distinguishes, but he goes on to the species. Not only recognizes that is a flower.
Yes.
But it recognizes.
Phalavyapti. Yeah, the Phalavyapti matches all the particulars.
Right.
Yes.
Including species.
Yes, everything, color, all the size, everything. The particulars. It measures it, it does everything.
Sakshi and consciousness,
Sakshi is consciousness.
they're one and the same.
Sakshi is
Yes,
consciousness. Consciousness is not Sakshi.
Consciousness is not Sakshi, but Sakshi is
Yes.
consciousness.
Sakshi is consciousness. Everything is consciousness.
So Sakshi is an attribute.
As though attribute.
As though.
Ah. One pair of words we need to know is as though. The more we need the more we use as though, the saner we are. Except in one place you shouldn't say as though. When somebody says, "Do you understand Vedanta?" you have to say yes. If you say as though, then that is the bane of every teacher. See you all tomorrow.